It's starting up.
Let's see, put that. Yeah, you're back on.
Alrighty. I don't know what happened there, but we lost signal for some reason. So anyway, we're back on now. See if I can get this thing to come back on my phone. For some odd reason, it wasn't a.
It's on there.
Hey, we're back on now. We're good to go. Alrighty. Anyway, we're getting back in with the budgeting. We're expecting to see pay raises. I'm going to come back to some stuff that I remember from last year that was pushed out there, and I would expect it's probably going to come back up again. A pumper truck for the fire department. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe that thing was like $900,000.
Oh, wow.
We don't need that. I'm just going to say it. We don't need it, and I'm going to tell you the reason being. There's 3 fire stations within the city limits of Lexington. There's 3 fire departments here. That's the city fire departments. In addition, we have Station 7, which is a county fire station that sits right over here by Kaywood School. And we're not that far from having other stations out in the county that can respond to, because there's a thing called mutual aid. Mm-hmm. And what mutual aid does is these fire departments work together to help each other out. Same thing with the police and the sheriff's department. You know, it's just, this is how emergency services works. Mm-hmm. To me, that's another toy that they just want to purchase that's just not needed, because they have support here. Now, I always hear people, they did the same thing with the residential home inspection program in the county. They kept talking about ISO, which is the International Standards Organization. It's a rating. I'm going to tell you right now, again, I have talked to insurance agents. There is a county handbook the state provides. Our ISO rating is not going to, and we're at ISO 2 in the city. You can't go but a little bit more, and it's just not worth going to. I mean, to me, it's just an absolute, that would be a waste of money. $1 million that you could be putting back into the infrastructure.
Right. Other problems that we're
Right.
facing.
You know, I know everybody wants to drive a new car, but come on. You know what? I mean, heck, go out there and look at the sheriff's department. They got some old vehicles out there.
Yeah.
The city can do the same thing. You know, you don't need to take and drive brand new vehicles all the time. You don't need all these luxury toy items when we got failing infrastructure. If you want to come up here and talk about utilities, let's go and fix that there. Stormwater.
Bad problems. I mean, all across the town. I mean, everywhere you look, just about, there's problems. And I mean, it continues to get worse, it seems like.
I think last year during the budget cycle they put like $30,000 or $40,000 towards working on the stormwater. I don't know what they're going to do with $30,000 or $40,000. It's as bad as it is.
Yeah. I mean, you're not even going to begin a project, or even to start evaluating one. I mean, you're not even going to get an engineering firm out here doing any analysis on some of this stuff.
And we know, I mean, I could take you to a business right now that's got a failing, and it's a known quantity at this point. The city and TDOT and the state's well aware of this issue.
Yeah.
That is a failing catch basin for a storm catch basin.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's a problem. And even, I mean, heck, the water is, when you look at, we've got videos of it, when the water's coming, the catch basin is a certain size. The water's actually draining in on the other side of the catch basin, and it's going behind it.
Yeah.
So eventually that's going to wash out, and that's going to create a sinkhole.
Yeah, like it already has.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the reason the catch basin's screwed up as it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm going to tell you something too now. I haven't really brought this here up, but we've got buildings and stuff going up where people's not following proper procedure with sediment washout. You know, we've got houses out in Pope subdivision that had issue with the sediment, and that stuff washes down into these creeks. And then what happens is, if you take, I'll give you a great example. Hurricane Katrina down in Louisiana. The reason that city flooded, yeah, there's a levee that broke, but it's not because of the levee break. What happens is your waterways, if you don't keep them, I'm going to use the term, it's called dredging. if you don't keep your waterways cleared out, what happens is sediment backfills into these waterways. So if you may have a river that's, I'm just going to throw a number out there, 10 feet deep. Well, you get sediment washes down there and it goes up to 5 feet deep. Well, it can no longer carry the same amount of water to get rid of it. And that's a lot of what we see around here is because people aren't following proper procedures, they're not using silt fences when they put stuff up, and it's been caught. I know it's been caught. Well, I know for a fact it's been caught. And this stuff is you know, I will say this here, TDEC is a hell of a department. These guys really go out and I talk with them quite often. They do an outstanding job in trying to protect us from all these things happening.
Yeah.
But if they don't know, they can't do anything about it. So
Yeah, they're a pretty small agency at the end of the day. You know, they're not. It's not like you got 50 of them running around here in town every day. And at the end of the day, our soil structure is kind of what causes some of these problems too. You know, we have a lot of sandy, silty soils, and that's largely why, you know, we actually have 7 lakes in this county. You know, and that was why they were installed way back in the day. You know, the Corps of Engineers came in and saw that there was a problem from a lot of these creeks and streams depositing a lot of sediment into the Tennessee River, and it was causing a lot of problems with having to dredge consistently to allow barges and everything to travel up and down it. And so they decided, hey, we'll go in and buy all this land, we'll flood it, right? And it's going to be a lake, but essentially it's just a giant retention pond to where they're going to take and you can actually go look it up. There's when they first did it, the manual for it. I mean, it says they're going to be filled in like 60 to 80 years with sediment. I mean, that's what they were supposed to do, and that's, you know, why we see a lot of these lakes that, by and large, they're starting to fill in with sediment.
Right.
I mean, over in Eastern Shores, it wasn't too long ago they were talking about, you know, wanting to buy a dredge to clear out some of the lots so that people could access their homes from the water.
Yeah.
Which they've come to find out in their HOA agreement said that, you know, they were the ones responsible
for it.
Yeah, and it's expensive.
Yep.
You know, it's an expensive problem. It's unfortunate though that, you know, probably a lot of these homeowners or even people that, you know, build homes that weren't aware that, you know, that the reason the lake was put in there, you know, they were sold lakefront property, not, you know, frontage property on a retention pond that's supposed to be filled in. But
and that's our water source, and you know how the water collects in there. There's I think there's 3 standpipes out there, if I remember correctly.
3 or 4.
Yeah, the standpipes are at certain depths. You know, they're varying depths, and what happens is the water flows into the standpipes, flows into the treatment facility, and then from there, you know, it gets pumped out. I believe one of the standpipes is actually it's covered in silt at this point.
Silt,
yeah. So it, you know it, and yeah, you could try to dredge that out there, but you got to remember something here. You can't dredge a little small section, and because what's going to happen is where the silt is up here, it's going to flow right back and fill it back in. Yeah. The only way to do it is you pretty much have to dredge the whole damn body of water down to get it so it, you know, it gets above the standpipe.
Or at least a significant portion of it.
Right. Yeah. And there's really, I don't know if there's any way you can
economically or
yeah, I mean, yeah. That would make no sense. Yeah. And this again is our water source. Yeah. What happens if we lose it? You know, then, you know, we're talking 11,000. Well, I'm sorry, 10,074 customers would be without water.
Yeah.
Who's on the city water system. Yeah. That's a lot of people with no water.
Yeah. And that's households. That's not, you know, just people.
Yeah, that's right. That's households. Yeah. Yeah, you figured if you took 3, I mean, we're talking 35, 40,000, 30, 40,000 people possibly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people with no water.
That is.
And another thing too, you know, where we are in West Tennessee, there's a lot of rivers, there's a lot of creeks, there's a lot of surface water, and because of that, heck, I've got a friend of mine that went out was bush hogging and hit a lever, dropped the bush hog down a little bit too much, dug, and as soon as he hit the ground and cut the ground, here comes water springing up. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just that shallow. Mm-hmm. You know, there's spots. I mean, obviously, you know, but it's really the cost factor to eventually put well systems in here is going to be outrageous. I mean, absolutely outrageous. But anyway, we're drifting as we do.
But somewhat, like I said, talking about the stormwater, though, I mean, it is a major issue, you know, in the city and the county. Like I said, we've noticed that our rainfalls are getting higher. We've got significant rainfall in short time periods too. 2 inches in an hour, that's a lot of water. A lot of people don't realize, but if you do the math on, an inch of water across an acre, it's about 20,000 gallons. So it doesn't take long for it to start adding up to significant amounts fast. Especially when, we continue to go to a lot of non-permeable surfaces. Like I said, you go into Nashville, Memphis, or some of these places that, do a lot more stormwater prevention when they do planting. Rain gardens are a big thing. Like I said, they have a lot of ways to try to get the water, slow it down, and disperse it there, or take it into the ground there instead of trying to just shed it off and go somewhere else with it. Where around here, I've yet to see anything like that. Not saying that it should go and be installed, but when you take a 5-acre patch of ground and that's been a pasture forever, and you turn it into a parking lot, all that water that hits that parking lot runs off.
Yeah.
Where when it was at pasture, on a 2-inch rainfall, you might have 20% or less of that volume that runs off. A lot of it's absorbed and filtered through the ground. But
That's
over years and years, when we continue to blacktop the city everywhere, we're now starting to see the repercussions of those issues.
Yeah, and that's and that's part of and part of the planning commission. There's depending on the zoning, it's required to have blacktop down, and that's for cosmetic purposes. But again, it leads into to runoff because when you get runoff, the water's got to go somewhere, and if you don't have any way for it to permeate the ground, it's going somewhere, and that's going to continue as we add and grow and to push to grow and add more things in here.
Right.
It's just going to tax the system more and more and more.
Yeah. And as we channelize water more too, where streams and rivers used to, wind and bend and, kind of overflow some, but they were trying to shift. We would slow water down a lot naturally, where now we're trying to, dredge and like I said, channelize things where we do direct it to get to where it's going as fast as it can. And when you do that with a bunch of different areas, you end up with a high volume of water at the end source in a relatively short period of time.
And something, something's got to give somewhere at some point.
Exactly. That's why we see culverts and everything blowing out.
And it's just like you're saying. The lakes that we have here were designed to take and do the exact same thing you're talking about.
Right.
It's just crazy. All right. Let's see if we got anything else in here, because we're pushing in about an hour. Like I said, tomorrow starts the budget talks. There's more stuff that we're kind of anticipating, but it's without having any information before the meeting, it's kind of hard really to discuss stuff. Obviously, we'll do another recap of the meeting. In these videos, we get them up when we can make the time for it. That's the key thing. Is time is one of our big things, but we'll definitely get a meeting recap of that there. Again, no voting will be taking place on the budget tomorrow because I guess there's not a budget. And it's not on the agenda for them. It's just for them to discuss it.
Right.
And we will post a live video of that there, just to give you, so you'll be able to see tomorrow what the discussion is about. One other thing too, Friday morning, sometime between 11 and 11:30, we will be having another live video going up. We haven't brought this here out yet, but we've got when we had the everything with the pet tax and trying to look at animal control and figure out ways to make changes, it kind of spurred some thought processes. And then when we dealt with when we saw the golden retriever in the video, which getting beaten, that was it really kind of just pushed it over the edge. In our shop back over Christmas, we're right next door to the Princess Theater. We came in and we had a Christmas card in our mailbox, and that Christmas card was from a young lady at Kaywood School, a third grader. And it just pretty much said, Kaywood loves you guys. Well, we thought it was the sweetest thing, and, it just, during the Christmas season, it makes your heart feel good. But we've thought about that, and we've kept that card out, and we've actually came up with a plan And we've been in contact with the county and the city school systems. And Friday is going to be the very first launch of this thing here, this program. We're going to call it, the little girl's name is Ainsley, so we're calling it the Ainsley Pet Contest. What we did is to start it with is the third grade out of Kaywood, the class that she was in, since she's the one who sparked the idea. We had them draw pictures of their pets, or pets that they like, or pets that they interact with, or pets that they would like to have. And we've posted these pictures on our wall. And what will happen is Friday morning, Catherine with the director at the Francis Hensley Animal Shelter is going to come down here, and they're going to choose a winner from all these pictures. We've got about, I'm guessing it's close to 100 pictures up here. But she's going to come down, she's going to pick a winner. And David Watts over at the Princess Theater has agreed to do a gift certificate, free movie, popcorn, drink, candy for the kids, for the winner. So, and then the Kaywood third grade class is actually going to be at the Princess Theater Friday morning, and they're anticipating the movie to be out sometime between 11 and 10. So we're going to bring the kids over here so they can see their pictures on the wall, and then we can share with the winner, and they'll get their gift certificate. And we're going to start doing this here, and we're going to do this monthly. The reason we're doing this here is if we can start doing something where we're changing the perception of pets and animals, and maybe showing that they're not disposable, where we're dealing with strays. If we can start changing the culture at a younger age, and maybe we can start correcting some of the issues that we've got. Maybe promote spay neutering, get all this stuff here going. What we're going to do, the winner, we're going to make a Friday when they draw. We're going to actually donate to the Hensley Center, so that they can gather. But and our growth point here is continue at the Hensley Center, looking at spay neutering. I know we've got a spay neuter alliance here in Henderson County. Just trying to find things that we can to try to help correct the issues that we've got with stray animals and neglect and abuse. But to do that, we got to start somewhere. And if we can change the culture, if we can change people's mindsets about how they view pets, maybe we can have an impact on it. Everyone I've talked with in the school systems have been tickled to death with it. Teachers that we've talked with about it have just been amazing, talking about all the different artistic approaches. What we're going to end up doing with this thing here, starting in August, is this going to launch. We're going K through 12 with all the city and county schools. So,
That's awesome.
So we're going to have to work out the details and figure it out, because there ain't no way on earth we can post pictures or have art projects and stuff up here for that many students in here. But and hopefully we can get other businesses involved, that they want to jump in, and
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It just brings awareness, and you can get involvement for something that, like I said, I think a lot of people, we've seen are passionate about. I mean, you've seen how much traction some of these dog videos and stuff like that get, and how riled up people can get about it. And so, like I said, if we can get people involved, and even not just for that, but just people in the community together to get behind something together. I think there's a lot of camaraderie that can be built.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what, this is one of these things here that doesn't cost anything. And that's one of the upsides to me. If we can find ways to work around things where we're not taxing the people and we're not burdening the people, but letting the people have an input in trying to work towards resolving our issues. I think we put too much faith in expecting our legislative bodies to make these determinations without getting involved ourselves.
Right.
So
the community, like I said, at the end of the day, they can be involved and do a lot. And I don't think a lot of people realize how much power they have coming together. So.
Amen to that. And so anyway, if anybody wants to come down, Pretty Paul's Grooming, 76 South Main Street. Like I said, we're right beside the Princess Theater. Especially if you're a third grade parent, feel free to come down here at any point in time. Look at these pictures here. You can see what your child or what the class has done. It's open for anybody who would like to come down. If you've got ideas and suggestions on how we can work on these things here, by all means, please come down and share them. We'll take we got to work together to get things done, and this is one of those ways we can do it. But I guess it for tonight. You got anything else?
I think that's about it for tonight.
All right. Well, this is James and Blake signing off. And like I said, look for tomorrow. We'll have the video of the meeting tomorrow night. Y'all have a good one.